Welcome to Wawasan Wire. Today, we're talking about the Malaysian Indian Congress and its recent powerful ultimatum to Barisan Nasional. This isn't just some minor political squabble, right? It feels like it carries significant weight for the future of coalition politics here in Malaysia.
Oh, definitely. This feels like a really critical moment. It's a very explicit demand for change. It could fundamentally reshape political alliances. It's a remarkably bold move.
Bold is one word for it.
Yeah, and it reflects, I think, some deep-seated frustrations within one of the oldest members of Barisan Nasional. This isn't just internal party stuff. It's about power, recognition, representation for a community.
Okay, so let's unpack this a bit. What exactly is this ultimatum that the Malaysian Indian Congress has put out there? It sounds, well, pretty serious.
Absolutely. It's far more than just a polite request. Basically, the Malaysian Indian Congress has given Barisan Nasional a very clear choice, almost a binary one.
Which is?
Implement immediate internal reforms and, crucially, grant the Malaysian Indian Congress, well, equal rights,
Right.
truly equal rights.
Right.
Or else face the very real risks of losing them as a core component party. The stakes here are incredibly high. It's not really negotiation. It feels more like an all-or-nothing proposition.
Right.
It's forcing Barisan Nasional to confront these issues that have clearly been simmering for a long time.
So, yeah, not just a suggestion, it's stark. Reform or we're out. But what does equal rights actually mean here in this context? Are we talking party structure, election seats, or something deeper about power sharing?
That's the key question, isn't it? Because equal rights in a coalition, well, it has to mean more than just words. And it's pretty clear this isn't some sudden outburst. It seems like the culmination of long-standing grievances.
Okay.
The Malaysian Indian Congress National Media Bureau Director, Siva Subramaniam, he's been exceptionally clear on this. He stated pretty unequivocally that the party just cannot continue being trapped, as he put it, in an increasingly marginalized political landscape.
Marginalized.
Okay.
So feeling sidelined.
Exactly. Like they're condemned to be silent bystanders while, big decisions are made. Decisions affecting the very community they represent.
Yeah.
So it's about fundamental recognition, genuine power sharing at every level. Policy, resources, the works.
So they feel pushed to the side, almost like they're just there for show. A name on the list, maybe, but no real influence.
Precisely. That's the feeling, it seems. They're tired of what they see as empty promises being used symbolically like a political prop, but without any actual clout.
Yeah, I can see how that would build up.
Absolutely. From their perspective, their patience hasn't just worn thin. It's snapped. It's reached its limit. This isn't about asking for small concessions anymore. It's demanding a fundamental shift in how they're treated within the coalition. The current way just isn't working for them.
That's a powerful expression of frustration. It points to maybe a deeper structural issue within Barisan Nasional. So what are the tangible things? What specific changes is the Malaysian Indian Congress actually demanding? What kind of influence are they looking for?
Well, they're demanding rights that match their status, As a founding member, their historical role, they want to genuinely shape the nation's future, not just be window dressing.
Right.
Siva Subramaniam, he specifically outlined the core demands. They want real, demonstrable influence in decision-making, meaningful cabinet positions, ones that let them actually tackle community issues directly.
Okay, so actual power.
Yes, and genuine opportunities to voice their constituents' concerns effectively, right at the top levels. It's a call for substantive participation. Moving beyond just being consulted, they want a real seat at the table.
That's a very strong position. It's about being an active player, not just a name on the team sheet. And what about this commitment they've stated to fight for the Malaysian Indian community? How does that tie into the ultimatum?
With the leadership, including Siva Subramaniam, they've framed it very starkly. Either reform or breakup. That's the choice. They're saying they are committed to defending the rights of the Malaysian Indian community, ensuring their voice is heard, and importantly, respected in mainstream politics.
Okay.
They vowed to fight, quote, uncompromisingly for a fairer, more inclusive, more dignified future for their community. So, you see, it's not just about the party's status. It's explicitly linked to the community's future and recognition. It connects the party's fate directly to the people they represent.
Now, okay, this is where it gets really interesting and potentially game-changing for Malaysian politics. Are they just making threats, trying to force Barisan Nasional's hand? Or are there actual alternatives being looked at if BN doesn't respond the way they want?
Well, this is a very significant development. The Malaysian Indian Congress president, Tan Sri Vignaswaran, he confirmed back on August 17th that the party had already held informal discussions with Barisan Nasional,
Yeah, okay.
exploring future political directions. Now, he stressed it wasn't some secret contact implying transparency, and he clarified, of course, any final decision would come from the party's central leadership. But still,
But the talks happened. That's big. It suggests this isn't just posturing. It sounds like there's a potential plan B.
exactly, it shows they are seriously contemplating options outside of Barisan Nasional.
So the groundwork's been laid. Lines of communication opened up with other major players. And didn't we get confirmation from the other side, too? That adds a lot of weight, doesn't it?
Absolutely. What's really noteworthy here is that Datuk Seri Azmin Ali, the Secretary General of Parti Pribumi Bersatu Malaysia, he publicly acknowledged that, yes, informal meetings between Perikatan Nasional and both the Malaysian Chinese Association and the Malaysian Indian Congress did happen.
Both of them. Wow.
Yes. And that public admission, well, it adds significant credibility to the Malaysian Indian Congress's ultimatum. It shows they aren't bluffing. The threat of leaving and forming new alliances, it's real. It's been discussed at high levels.
So what do you think this tells us about, well, the seat of political alliances right now? It feels like things are quite fluid, maybe more than usual.
It certainly seems that way. Historical ties within these coalitions are being tested very openly. Traditional loyalties, maybe they aren't as fixed as they once were.
Okay, but let's talk leverage. Given that the Malaysian Indian Congress currently holds just one seat in the lower house, held by its deputy president, how much clout do they actually have here? Can one seat really back up such a huge demand?
It's a fair question. On the surface, one seat doesn't sound like much, right?
Right.
But their significance goes way beyond parliamentary numbers. They're a founding member of Barisan Nasional. Historically, they've been the voice for the Indian community within that specific coalition. That gives them a unique, almost disproportionate leverage.
How so?
Well, losing even one component party, especially one with that kind of historical legacy and symbolic representation, it could trigger a domino effect. Maybe other parties within BN who are also unhappy might start thinking. At the very least, it would seriously damage Barisan Nasional's image. Their whole narrative of being a stable, multiracial coalition, that takes a hit, particularly with elections always potentially on the horizon.
Undermines their brand,
Yeah.
basically.
Exactly. And conversely, it opens up new strategic doors for Perikatan Nasional. Imagine them bringing in a party representing the Indian community. It broadens their appeal, makes them look more diverse.
I see. So that single seat carries a lot more symbolic, historical, and strategic weight than you might think just looking at the numbers.
Precisely. It directly affects the optics and the perceived stability of Barisan Nasional.
So this ultimatum from the Malaysian Indian Congress, it's clearly way more than just internal party politics. It's a powerful statement about how our political coalitions are evolving, maybe even fraying. It challenges these long-standing alliances that have, for decades, defined Malaysian politics. The big question remains, doesn't it? Will Barisan Nasional concede? Will they implement these reforms, grant these equal rights? Or are we about to see a really significant shift in our political landscape, a redrawing of the lines?
It really does raise a fundamental question for all of us, I think. What is the future for these long-standing alliances when key members feel pushed aside, when their patience just runs out? It challenges the very structure, the purpose, the relevance of these coalitions today. Can these old models adapt? Or are we heading towards a completely new political order?
We'll definitely be watching very closely to see how this all unfolds and what the ripple effects might be across the board. Remember to like and subscribe for more videos like this.